can't believe I had the camera turned the wrong way around. Well done me. Hi. Hey Zara. How are you doing today? I still can't believe I had the camera turned the wrong way around and just had a black screen for a minute there. Oh, good old technology, me. Hey. Hi. So today I'm going to be talking a bit about books I really liked last year and books I wasn't that fussed about. Yeah, I'm good, thanks. Yeah. Yeah, I was like, oh, it's nearly lifetime. So I suppose I'm going to start with probably one of my favourite books of last year, which was The House in the Cerulean Sea. So, I mean, I think that was quite a big one all over Instagram, and that's alright. That's okay. I found out last week that this does record. So, if I'm planning on it being a little short this time, so catch up works. The House in the Cerulean Sea is about it's about a sort of a social worker who's good at his job, but gets sent off to this orphanage to discover whether or not it's a suitable place for for these kids. And all these kids are like supernatural, and it's all fantasy, and it's actually really good. It's about self-discovery, and it's about what is more on the inside, and it's got a bit of all sorts. Sort of ticks a lot of boxes. So I went into it going, oh, this is a bit of a hyped book. It might be a bit meh, or it might be really good. And I really enjoyed it. So yeah. Hey Grant. One of my Oh yeah, that's fair enough, yeah. I listened to it on Scribd or Audible, something like that. I think I used one of my free credits. Something like that. So yeah. I do want a physical copy though. One of my least favourite was, I do want to read more indie books. I've always wanted to read more indie books, especially considering Book Loving Dragons is a indie based box at its heart. But I have to say, there's a couple I read last year and I was not impressed. Well, if the book's as good as the audiobook, you'll enjoy the book anyway. But yeah, I don't really want to name and shame them, because I don't really like telling people that I thought a book was rubbish. And naming the book. There was a couple coming up to Halloween. I was really looking forward to them. And one of them was just so badly written I couldn't get past page 5. I'm not gonna lie. I don't know whether to name or shame it, to be honest. It's just not, it wasn't for me. And I was a bit disappointed because I was quite looking forward to it. So yeah. That's true. That's true. That's one I do want to go back to be fair. I didn't get very far. I was enjoying The Night Circus while I was reading it, but I sort of got distracted by other shiny books. So, you know what that's like. There's a TBR mountain. No, it wasn't you. Definitely wasn't you. Shadow Courtesan is the Book Loving Dragons book of the month this year. This month, so looking forward to that. I do like vampires. So what other ones? I read, because I watched Bridgerton at the beginning of last year. and I read the first one, The Duke and I, and it was pretty similar. I enjoyed that. It was an easy read. I like a Regency romance every now and then. Like, no, it's fine. Yeah. Yeah, I've sort of decided that if I'm not enjoying something, I'll just DNF it and just don't finish it, because if it's a slog to get through, it'll just gonna take me forever. So, yeah, I mean, those Bridgerton and other Regency ones are usually pretty predictable, but sometimes you want to sit down with an easy read. Sometimes you don't want to overthink anyway. I'm trying to think what else I read last year. I had a list. I had quite a long list. I really liked, one I did like was A Dowry of Blood by, I think it was S.J. Gibson. There's nothing guilty about pleasure. If you're enjoying something, you should never feel guilty about it, ever. That's what I think. That's my belief. I don't have quite that many. I mean, 1,200 plus books is a lot of books. I don't have quite that many, but then I keep going to the library, so maybe on my TBR. But yeah, Dowry of Blood was really good. It was a different take following the brides of Dracula. One of the brides was a man. There was polyamory. It was dark, so I will say there are trigger warnings here. I will say there are trigger warnings, because I'm sure that even though I really enjoyed it, and there's not a lot that bothers me as such, there will be some that might find it a bit uncomfortable. So yeah, because Dracula as a character was a dick, in truth. So yeah. What else did I read last year? Like I say, I read quite a lot in some months and then not a lot in others. There was a couple of months where I only read like one book. But yeah, I think, was it Mistborn? Was it last year? Yeah. Yeah, Mistborn. I can't remember whether that was 2020 or 2021. I think it was 2021. And because I'd heard a lot of good things about Brandon Sanderson's books, and I read that within a couple of days, and my other half just went, "How have you read that already?" Because I enjoyed it. Yeah, I do have a Goodreads account. I never really use it. I use Storygraph. Yes, they have. They really have. But then I forget to add them to Storygraph as well. So I don't really use either of them properly. They're a great idea. Yeah, I've got to be honest. The last 2 years, I can't figure out what is what. Working on it, getting there. Sort of trying to divide it up. But I do have a couple of questions that I did on my Ask Me Anything, while I try and think of other things that I've read last year. The number one romance book that I would recommend. Storygraph is kind of similar to Goodreads, but you can join. You can make and join book challenges, and you can sort of do half stars. And I think you can put DNF on there as well. So it's like, with Goodreads, it's very much right, it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So Storygraph's fairly new, yeah. I heard quite a lot about it on here and thought, well, I'll give it a go. But yeah, I've enjoyed it. It's been useful. No worries. My number one recommended romance book. I don't know, because I don't I mean, I like, yeah, yeah, it's handy to have the DNF button. I like Regency romance. I like fantasy romance, so Sherilyn Kenyon, J.R. Ward, and then you've got things like Sarah J. Maas, and I find it quite difficult to narrow it down because I don't read a specific romance. I wasn't about to say fan fiction, although I still read a lot of that. Not gonna lie, I do still read a lot of that. But the other question I got was, what is a book I never get bored of rereading? And I would say any Jane Austen, but definitely Pride and Prejudice. The ACOTAR series, Court of Thorns and Roses. I've read it a few times already, and I am already thinking, when am I going to fit it in this year? So yeah. No, well, A Touch of Darkness, I did try to read, but I wasn't into it. Which is a shame because I absolutely love Hades and Persephone retellings. I am a bit trash for it. I love them. But I would like to try it again because it sounds like the sort of thing that I would love. So yeah, I would like to try that. I'm curious. I mean, I love Hades and Persephone, and it seems to be a thing. A lot of people love the Hades and Persephone thing, and I'm not sure what it is about it. Whether it's the forbidden love, whether it's the whole enemies to lovers type thing, or what. You know what I mean? I mean, she's meant to be the goddess of spring, and he's the god of the dead, and yeah. Song of Achilles. I am looking forward to Song of Achilles, because that is the book club read for Worm Talk Book Club over on Facebook. The Lore Olympus. I've seen Lore Olympus on here, and I don't know much about it yet, but that's what I'm going to have to look into because I really do love mythology. Any mythology, to be honest. So yeah, I mean, I heard a lot of good things about Circe, and then I heard not so good things about Circe, so I was a bit nervous. I still haven't read it yet. See, I like anything graphic novelsy as well, comic style stuff, because I find them quick reads usually. I mean, my another one I really loved was Tea Dragon Society. It was so easy, very just reader friendly. Ah, modern day Greek gods on Olympus, but human world is in ancient Greece. Ah, see, that sounds good. Mix it up a bit instead of the gods being the ancient ones and the humans being in modern day. That sounds like a good one, actually. Yeah, I love Greek mythology. I want to know more about other mythology, to be fair. I see Webtoon. Yeah, maybe at some point we should. Yeah, I think I put my copy in a box at some point, Circe. So, but I'll sort that out. Gods behaving badly. You know, I think we could turn this into a whole mythology live stream. You know. But yes, I think. What is your favourite book that you've read last year? Because I would love to know. Because if you put it down below, and I'll let you know whether I've read it, and also your least favourite as well, because I'm curious. Ah. Cosby. Verity. See, I've seen a lot of Colleen Hoover in the last few months. I've seen a lot of those, but it's one that I've not read, and I don't know if it's my kind of thing. The Woman in the White Kimono. You did mention that one. Last Thing to Burn. That one I don't think I've heard of. Are these ones that you liked or ones that you didn't like? Because I'm curious. To be honest, I can't remember last week half the time. So, yeah, I get that. First Wheel of Time. See, I haven't read that. Ah, yeah. First Wheel of Time. The Wheel of Time series. I've heard a lot of people liked it. There were mixed reviews on the TV show, but I don't know. I don't know whether to try it or not. So Verity, The Woman in the White Kimono, and The Last Thing to Burn are ones that you recommend. Okay, that's fine. Yeah, because my TBR is obviously not long enough and not high enough as a mountain. I thought I'd wear my lucky dinosaur jumper because it's cold. Oh, that's a shame. Yeah, I think I'm a little bit worried about picking up things like Game of Thrones as well, because I'm always worried that there's going to be a bit where I'm slogging through to the end. Robin Hobb, that's another one I really enjoyed, Assassin's Apprentice. I haven't read the others yet. I'll be honest, I haven't read a lot this year. I keep meaning to. I keep having all these books on my TBR. I'm hoping a few will be very soon. But it's like, I've really only read a couple of books. That's fair enough. I mean, I think that's the thing with the Game of Thrones books. There's so many of them. Yeah, it is only January, to be fair. But I think at the minute, I've got a little time off work, and I've been told to do things that I enjoy and to try and do the non-essential jobs like reading, meeting up with friends, and doing things like that. So this is my chance to get some reading done, hopefully. What about you? Any for this year? Why do you feel guilty for discovering extreme horror? Like I said earlier, I don't think you should feel guilty for enjoying anything. I still haven't read Tender is the Flesh. I still want to. It's one of them. I really want to read it. I did plan on it for spooky season, but I think I'm just going to have to slot it in somewhere. I remember Sophie's Choice. I don't think did I ever make it through that? I can't remember. I'm not sure. Sophie's Choice is one of them, I think, that is kind of like The Catcher in the Rye. It's a book that people talk about, but not many people actually love. To be fair, extreme horror is not meant to be the nicest thing to read, but if you have that, what's the best way of putting it? It's like when you watch a horror film and You get that adrenaline rush and then you feel better after it. You need that fight or flight response because in the modern day we haven't got the same predators that we did thousands of years ago. So you need something to get your adrenaline going and then go, oh, it's okay, I'm safe now. Oh, you noticed? Friday the 13th mug. I actually bought that for my partner a few years ago in Manchester. But I steal it. Yeah, I think sometimes you need something to take you fully out of any comfort zone. And now and then, that's good. Oh, is it not? I'm surprised. I thought. Ah, interesting. Okay, I'm going to put this now. I'm going to say, right, okay, here's your chance. Ask me anything. I'm not sure how many people are here. So, but here's an ask me anything for whenever. While you recommend or de-recommend some books for me. Yeah, I did try Sophie's Choice, but I just don't think it was really... It's even not my kind of book. I mean, I did try The Girl with the Louding Voice last month, but it just didn't work for me. I think it would be a good book, but I just couldn't get through the writing style. It's not my usual kind of book anyway, but I wanted to try it. Cows and Dead Inside. Ooh. It sounds... Oh yes, I saw the cover for Dead Inside. Yes, that made me already feel ill, to be honest. I have a thing against certain insects that freak me out. I'm a bit of a freak. I don't really like those kinds of insects. So yeah. That already made me feel slightly ill. So I imagine that was fun. Ooh, who would I have lunch with? Author, living or dead? You know what? I think I would love to have lunch with everybody. It'd be interesting for Jane Austen because I love her books anyway. I would like to have lunch with J.K. Rowling so I can choose to punch her in the face at the end of it when she's paid. But I would also like to have lunch with every author that I've featured in my boxes because it would be nice to actually meet you all. Anyone else? Maybe Agatha Christie. That'd be quite interesting. Like, please don't poison me. Of course I don't condone violence. Of course not. But some people deserve a punch in the face. My partner is trans. They deserve a punch in the face. J.K. Rowling, not my partner. Just to clear that up. Ooh. See, I like chick lit a little bit, but it's like they're always put to the side slightly. I do every now and then manage to pick one out. I always sort of tend to veer towards my YA fantasy. Yes, pub lunch. Can't go wrong with a good pub grub. I'm a simple girl. Ham, egg and chips does me. I'm fine. Of course you can. Everyone's invited. We're all invited. I think after the last 2 years, we all could do with one. Hi, Carrie. Yeah, I think we could all do with a nice meet up and pub lunch. Why not? Oh, see, I'm allergic to cheese, so hi, Carrie. So, unfortunately, anything cheesy is a no go for me. But oh well. Yeah, we're doing a little bit of Ask Me Anything at the minute. Um, I was asking everybody last week, do you think this records? Do we think this records? Um, and it does. So any catch ups or whatever will be at the end. That's not a problem. I don't mind. If you can't miss something too much if you don't really have it anywhere, to be fair. I mean, that's the thing with cheese. I'm probably more upset if I didn't have chocolate. I'd be very upset. Ah, see, that's, yeah, that makes sense. Horror followed by chocolate. Yes, I am also from Yorkshire, originally. So, yes, I get that. I get that. Sometimes you want something a little comforting and a little bit that reminds you of something. Oh, see, I couldn't, but uh, I have discussed before that I have a food issue, so yeah, it's something that I'm working on bit by bit. Chick horror. Oh god, can you imagine that? Starts out as a chicklet, turns out as a horror. That would be quite good. Isn't that a thriller? Hmm. Don't know. No, it wouldn't be. It'd be something completely different. Let's just do that. Alright, that's your next book. You've got to write a chick horror. A genre I can't read. Not really, I don't think. There's a few I haven't tried. I generally read fantasy. I can read horror. I do like a James Herbert. I struggle with Stephen King. I don't know if his writing style just doesn't suit me. Um, chick lit I like. Regency historical classics I like. I've never tried Western and War, so that's probably never tried it. So yeah, I can't go wrong with Greek mythology. This feels like a circle. Now, I'm sure you'd be more than capable of doing a chick horror if you put your mind to it. I'm sure you would. I think I'm going to take a couple more and then I'm going to head off because is my sister is visiting at the moment and she moves away at the end of the week. Sci-fi and fantasy, I think they should be separate. Personally, unless you do actually put a sci-fi fantasy book together, I think they should be three genres: sci-fi, fantasy, and sci-fi fantasy. I think they really should be separate. But yeah, she's moving away to Worcester. I'm excited. You know, it'll do her some good. Get her a whole fresh start. So yeah, very excited. Very sad because I will miss her. Yeah. Sci fantasy. Yeah, see that works. Yeah. Dragons in space. I mean, you can't go wrong with dragons in space. um, vampires from the moon, whatever. It works. It is hard. It is hard to move and stuff, but I think at the end of it, you kind of have to go, right, what is the priority on that one? Yes, yes, I think that's a good plan. Being part of a book club helps to try new genres. Yes, I do. I do. I never would have tried. The Girl with the Loud Voice is one of those I probably wouldn't have even tried. But now, at least I've tried it, and I can say I've tried it. Song of Achilles is one of them that I probably would have tried anyway, but it probably would have been pushed to the bottom of my TBR constantly, like so many do. Yeah, I think it's one of those. Trying new genres can be difficult when you've got that comfort zone for a reason. But yeah, it's yeah. Yeah, exactly. That's the thing, it's like sometimes you want to try something different. Sometimes you want to, but you don't really know where to start. And that's where a book club comes in. Yeah, that's what I think anyway. Yeah. I think there were a few last year that I wanted to join in with because I fancied something different, but because I couldn't get hold of the book for whatever reason, whether it was the library didn't have it, which is probably the reason to be fair, I didn't get there. The Woman in Black was one of those that I read with you. Yeah. Yeah. I suppose it depends on what you think is a good fantasy book. I mean, I like all sorts, and some are better than others. But it depends what you're looking for. I have never read a Tamora Pierce. I haven't. I think I should at some point if you're recommending. The Woman in Black was enjoyable. There was one or two bits I was a bit like, but overall I enjoyed it. Do you keep mentioning this? I'm like, oh yeah. Okay. That's interesting. Because even in the 80s, for someone to be quite inclusive is quite good because even now that's something people struggle with a little. It's not always, yeah. Yeah, I mean, I like A Court of Thorns and Roses. I do. Is it a bit overhyped? Yes, I do think it is. But I do enjoy it. I think they're 4 and 5 star reads for me personally. But I don't think that they're a book that everybody is going to love. So I think it's one of those. If you, I, if you find it in a charity shop, yeah, I don't think it should be in the young adult section personally. I think it's just a little bit older than that. No, I agree. A little. I do agree a little. I don't think it's spicy enough to be full adult, but a little bit spicy for young adult. So it's kind of like it's the proper new adult that people haven't quite got their heads around yet. I think if they're on your Kindle, they're worth a try. definitely. Because, I mean, you might decide you really like them. If you don't like the first one, you don't have to read the second one, to be fair. I mean, yeah, they get good. They are good, but as you say, you're not afraid to DNF a book. So that's always good. So Throne of Glass, I've only read the first one. So I can't say whether I like the whole series or not yet. But I am going to love you and leave you, unless you've got any more questions. And I will see you. No, that's fine. That's fine. I will be back most likely next week. I don't know whether I'll do a Sunday or whether I'm just going to stick to the Tuesdays. So I will. Thank you, Zara. I will be here same time next week. Thank you. And I will see you soon. Bye.